मुझे महसूस हो रहा था।
अच्छा, ये आपने स्क्रीन इसके ऊपर खोल दी, ये बार बार मैसेज आएंगे तो मैं सेट कर दूंगी।
ये क्यों हो रहा है?
मैं आपको बताता हूँ हमारा कौन सी स्क्रीन आ गई।
नहीं,
हाँ, यही होगी और यही खोली हुई है आपने। ठीक है, अब नहीं आएगा। अब आप अनम्यूट हो गए, स्टार्ट करें सर।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Uh, Probably this is the second week of the lecture we are delivering to you online lectures. I think so. There might be some sort of the difficulty, but you keep this in your mind. Something is better than nothing. So, if uh, you feel that there is a need of the repetition of the lectures, inshallah ta'ala, after
हेलो
favorable conditions.
सर,
Hello,
आपकी आवाज़ बहुत स्लो आ रही है।
बहुत स्लो आ रही है। अब आ रही है बेटे
जी
सही? अब आ रही है?
सर, काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्लो है।
चल मैं देख, अब आ रही है बेटे? अब आ
जी
रही
नहीं
है?
सर, अब भी स्लो है।
तो फिर ये देखें आके, ये आपके जो हैंड्स फ्री डिवाइस, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है?
सर स्लो है अब भी।
नहीं, तो देखिए ना, हैंड्स फ्री में प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है कोई?
मैं देखता हूँ सर। जी सर बोलें।
हेलो हेलो।
जी सर, अब ठीक है।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear students, Assalamu alaikum to everybody. This is the second week of online lectures. I think so. Okay, though it is difficult to understand, but something is better than nothing. Inshallah, if you say that there is a need of repetition of the lectures after favorable conditions when you are going to join college, inshallah, we will repeat all these lectures according to your dire need. Today's our topic is leptospirosis. As we have we are resuming the zoonotic diseases. So leptospira is one of the disease of the zoonosis. It is a basically relatively rare bacterial infection that affects people and animals both. It can pass from animals to humans when an unhealed break in the skin comes in contact with water or soil where animal urine is present. Several species of the Leptospira genus of bacteria cause leptospirosis. It can progress to conditions such as whale disease or meningitis, which can be fatal to the human beings. The condition does not usually pass from one person to another. The basic derivative through animals. Usually people can become infected through drinking contaminated water, number one, unhealed cuts or wounds that come in contact with contaminated water or soil, the eyes, nose, or mouth coming into contact with contaminated water or soil, less commonly contact with the blood of an infected animal. Infection rarely passes between humans, but this can sometimes happen during sexual intercourse or breastfeeding. This is the only 2 or 3 studies which has shown to that there might be transmissions through sexual intercourse or breastfeeding. As far as bacteria can enter the body through open wounds, the eyes or mucous membranes. Animals that transmit the infection to humans include rats, skunks, opossums, foxes, and raccoons. Leptospirosis is more common in tropical areas where the World Health Organization estimates that it affects 10 or more people in every 100,000 each year. In temperate climates, it probably affects between zero point 0.1 and 1 per 100,000 people. In an epidemic, it can affect even 100 or more in every 100,000 people. People traveling to tropical areas have a greater risk of exposure of leptospirosis. The As far as causes are concerned, the Leptospira bacteria can exist in raccoons, bats, sheep, dogs, mice, rats, horses, cattle, buffaloes, and pigs. These are the common animals which I have mentioned. There might be some other category also. The bacteria inhabit the animal's kidney. Kidneys are expelled through urination, infecting the soil or water supplies. The bacteria can remain in the soil or bacteria for months and months. I'm seeing the picture of Motiba Ajaz, M16. Thank you very much. As far as signs and symptoms of the disease are concerned, the signs symptoms of leptospirosis usually appear suddenly about 5 to 14 days after infection. However, the incubation period can range from 2 to 30 days according to the CDC. Mild spirosis, signs and symptoms of the mild spirosis include as fever and chills, coughing, diarrhea, vomiting are both, headache, muscle pain, particularly lower back and calves, a rash on the body, red and irritated eyes, jaundice. Most people recover within a week without any treatment, but around 10% go on to develop severe leptospirosis. As far as severe leptospirosis is concerned, the sign and symptom of severe leptospirosis will appear a few days after mild spirosis have disappeared. Symptoms, it means that when patient feel that mild spirosis is not there, but it doesn't mean that the patient is totally healed. You have to observe the patient for second phase of the disease, that is called severe type of the leptospirosis. Symptoms depend on which vital organs are involved. It can lead to kidney or liver failure, respiratory distress, and meningitis, and these can be fatal. The heart, liver, and kidneys. If leptospirosis affect the heart, liver, and kidneys, the person will experience number one, fatigue, irregular, uh, often fast heartbeat, muscle pains, nausea, nose bleeding, pain in the chest, painting, poor appetite, swelling of the hands, feet, or ankles, unexplained weight loss, and jaundice seen in the yellowing of the whites of the eyes, tongue, and skin. Without treatment, this can lead to the life-threatening kidney failure. When brain is involved, if it affect the brain or spinal cord, meningitis, encephalitis, or both may develop. Meningitis is an infection of the membrane covering the brain and spinal cord, while encephalitis refers to the infection of brain tissue. Again, I repeat, there is difference between meningitis and encephalitis, and that is that meningitis is an infection of the membrane covering the brain and spinal cord, while encephalitis refers to the brain infection of the brain tissue. Both conditions have similar signs and symptoms, and these may be confusion or disorientation of the patient, drowsiness, fits or seizures, high fever, nausea, photophobia, are sensitive to light, problems with physical movements, a stiff neck, inability to speak, vomiting, aggressive or unusual behavior. Untreated meningitis or encephalitis can result in serious brain damage, and it may be life-threatening. The lungs, when involved in leptospirosis, the sign and symptom in that case. If it affects the lung, the person cannot breathe. Signs and symptoms include high fever, panting, coughing up blood, hemoptysis. In severe cases, there may be so much blood that the person suffocates due to this problem. There are two main types of the leptospirosis. Number one, mild type, that is mild leptospirosis. This accounts for 90% of cases. Symptoms include muscle pain, chills, and possibly a headache. Severe type of the leptospirosis, between 5 and 15% of cases can progress to severe leptospirosis. Organ failure, internal hemorrhaging, and death can result if the brain infects the liver, kidneys, and other major organs. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention puts the fatality rate between 5 and 15% among those with severe illness. With effective and timely treatment, leptospirosis is less likely to become severe. Those more likely to develop severe type of the leptospirosis tend to be those who are already sick. For example, with pneumonia, those under the age of 5 years, and those in older age. Risk. Who is at risk of this disease? Leptospirosis is more common in tropical climate, but it may also occur in the poor parts of the large cities in developing nations that are not in tropical areas. The risk is higher at times of excessive rainfall and flooding, according to the WHO. The bacterium thrives in hot and humid environments. It tends to be sporadic rather than constantly present. Leptospirosis is more likely to occur in South and Southeast Asia. Australia is also one of the places, the Caribbean and Central America, the Andes and tropical Latin America, East Sub-Saharan Africa. Tourist hotspots where leptospirosis sometimes occurs include New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii, and Barbados. Flooding increases the risk of an outbreak if climate change leads to more cases of flooding around the world. Leptospirosis, uh, leptospirosis may become more common. Diagnosis of the leptospirosis can be made by the following points. Early stage mild leptospirosis is hard to diagnose because the symptoms can resemble those of flu and other common infections. If a physician suspects severe leptospirosis, the patient may undergo specific diagnostic tests. Various tests are available in the market. In some cases, tests may need repeating to confirm the result. The doctor will ask about any recent travel, especially to areas where leptospirosis. It means that good history or traveling history is to be noted. That is very important. As far as all type of the diseases, whether infectious, communicable, to make the traveling is your first and important point for the diagnosis is taking a good history of the traveling, or traveling from anywhere, and you have met any person who has traveled from abroad. So that is very important. You must not ignore this. They may ask if the person has been swimming in a lake, pond, canal, or river, has had contact with any activities that occurred in a slaughterhouse, on a farm, or relating to an animal care, may have had contact with animal urine or blood. A number of blood and urine tests can confirm or rule out leptospirosis. In the United States, leptospirosis is notifiable disease. The doctor must inform the relevant health authorities if a person's diagnosis confirms an infection. Just like that, coronavirus has been declared notifiable disease by the government of Pakistan, and all laboratories who are doing investigation measures for COVID-19, they are bound to inform government that uh, the person, flam person, has been made positive result. So that's why some people are asking that how government comes to know that the flam person is suffering from this type of the disease. Basically, laboratories are bound to inform the government of Pakistan or government of Punjab that in our laboratory, the result of the uh, that Bakr and any name has become positive. As far as treatment is concerned, for mild cases, the doctor may prescribe antibiotics such as doxycycline or penicillin. You have to treat symptomatically, not as a special case. Patients with severe leptospirosis will need to spend time in the hospital. They will receive antibiotics intravenously, and that patient will be kept under observation. Depending on which organs leptospirosis affect, the individual may need a ventilator to help them breathe. If it affects the kidney, dialysis may be necessary if required accordingly. Intravenous fluids can provide hydration and essential nutrients. Hospital stays may range from a few weeks to several months until symptoms are subsided and the patient is stable. There is no need of ventilator at that moment. So with observation, he will be discharged from the hospital. This mostly depends on how the patient responds to antibiotic treatment and how severely the infection damages his organs. During pregnancy, leptospirosis can affect the fetus. Anyone who has the infection during pregnancy will need to spend time in the hospital for monitoring of the mother and child, both. The prevention of the leptospirosis is very important to stop the epidemic in any area. A number of measures can help reduce the risk of getting leptospirosis, especially among those whose layers or work activities increase this risk. Number one, water sports. In non-tropical developed nations such as the United States, the risk of the leptospirosis is very small, and most people don't need to avoid doing water sports. However, those who do water sports as part of holiday adventure and those regularly swim in fresh water should uh, take some precautions. One is the one is to make sure that any skin cuts are covered with a waterproof dressing. That is very important. First thing is very important that if there is some abrasion or cut or wound on the body or one should avoid swimming. Or if he is wishing to swim, he should get permission from his family doctor. A number of measures can help reduce the risk of getting leptospirosis, especially among those whose layer or work activities increase their risk. Second, travel and tourism. People who travel to areas where leptospirosis is common should take the following steps. Avoid swimming in fresh water. Drink only water that is boiled or clean and cover any skin wounds with a waterproof dressing. Disaster response. Emergency workers or military personnel and disaster zones might have to take antibiotics as a precautionary measures. Other tips for avoiding especially rodents, washing hands with soap and water, or handling animals and animal products, avoiding touching dead animals with bare hands, cleaning all wounds as soon as possible, and covering them with waterproof dressings. Wearing protective clothing at work if appropriate, uh, avoiding swimming or other contact with rivers, streams, and lake water, especially uh, after flooding or shower at once after exposure. Avoid contact with or consuming anything that has been in contact with flood water. Avoiding drinking water from rivers and lakes unless it has been boiled or chemically treated. This is the commonest problem in villages or periphery areas that people usually take uh, direct water from rivers and lakes and drink. This is the very commonest problem in villages. Ensuring that dogs have a vaccination against leptospirosis in those areas. These are the few slides for, this is the bacteria for leptospirosis. You have to observe. Um, Jaundice. This is the white area. This is the leptospirosis. I'm showing you with, yeah. This is the, all these white areas in the lungs. That is leptospirosis. This is very rare slide you have ever seen in pathology even. I think so. I'm sure about that. This is very rodents commonly causing this problem. A sequence of leptospira infection. This is the all type of the bodies which are having attack on the body. Different parts of the body are involved, kidneys, liver, etc. Most probably, these two organs are uh, top priority involved in leptospirosis. Again, there is a case of the yelling of the eye, jaundice due to leptospirosis. I think so. With pictures, you can easily understand the gravity of the situation. My next topic is plague. That is very important. This is the disease. In previous days, this disease decimated one part of the world and remained for a long time. Even حضور نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم کی حدیث ہے کہ اگر جس ایریا میں پلیگ ہو، وہاں پلیگ ایپیڈیمک ہو، وہاں پہ آپ مت جائیں. اور اگر آپ کے ایریا میں پلیگ ایپیڈیمک plague is just that was the just a sign of the disease mean any infectious communicable and contagious disease ان کا بتانے کا مقصد یہ تھا اگر آپ کے ایریا میں پلیگ ہے تو آپ اپنے علاقے سے نکل کے دوسرے علاقے میں مت جائیں. دیٹ از دی کوارنٹائن. یہ اس باقاعدہ حضور نے فرمایا. اور جو میں نے ایک واقعہ پڑھا حضرت ابو عبیدہ جو کہ سپہ سالار تھے فوج کے حضرت عمر کے زمانے میں شام کے علاقے میں مقیم تھے تو وہاں پہ پلیگ کی وبا پھوٹ پڑی تو حضرت عمر جو ہے وہ حضرت عبیدہ کو بہت پسند کرتے تھے لہٰذا انہوں نے خط لکھا حضرت عبیدہ کو کہ آپ پہلے پہر میں رات اگر ہے تو صبح واپس آ جائیں اگر دن ہے تو رات میں واپس آ جائیں. حضرت عبیدہ نے خط کا جواب اس طرح دیا کہ میں نافرمانی نہیں کر رہا لیکن حکم خلیفہ ہے لیکن میں اپنی فوج کو چھوڑ کے ان حالات میں واپس نہیں آ سکتا. اور الٹیمیٹلی فوج میں بھی وبا پھوٹ پڑی اور پلیگ سے بے شمار فوجی جو ہے وہ ہلاک ہوئے حتیٰ کہ اینڈ پہ حضرت عبیدہ بھی پلیگ کی بیماری کے مبتلا ہو کر اللہ تعالیٰ کو پیارے ہو گئے. یہ واقعہ بتانے کا مقصد ہے کہ سیم از امپلیمنٹڈ ناؤ ڈیز. جس علاقے میں کرونا وائرس ہے اس علاقے سے ہیلدی یا اس علاقے میں مت جائیں جہاں پہ نہیں ہے. اٹ مینس کہ دا ٹرانسمیشن از اسٹاپ. اگر آپ ہیلدی علاقے میں ہیں تو آپ اس علاقے میں نہ جائیں جہاں پہ یہ بیماری ہے تاکہ آپ وہاں سے ڈیزیز لے کے واپس نہ آئیں. دیٹس وائی اسی بات کو جب ووہان میں پاکستانی اسٹوڈنٹس بڑا شور مچا پیرنٹس کی طرف سے بھی مختلف این جی اوز کی طرف سے بھی پبلک کی طرف سے بھی کہ ان کو واپس بلایا جائے. سو مچ سو اسلام آباد ہائی کورٹ میں ریٹ دائر کی گئی کہ ان کو واپس لایا جائے لیکن چائنا کی حکومت نے ان کو واپس نہ بھیجنے کا فیصلہ کیا. انہوں نے کہا کہ جب تک حالات کنٹرول میں نہیں آتے ہم ان اسٹوڈنٹس کو نہیں بھیجیں گے تاکہ دوسرے علاقوں میں ڈیزیز نہ پھیلے. انڈائریکٹلی انہوں نے غیر مسلموں نے اسی حدیث پہ عمل کیا جو حضور نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا. تو آج میں بلکہ پچھلے دنوں ٹی وی پہ یہ کچھ اسٹوڈنٹس کا انٹرویو سن رہا تھا وہاں کے ووہان کے اسٹوڈنٹس کا جنہوں نے خود کہا کہ بہت اچھا فیصلہ تھا جو ہمیں یہاں سے واپس نہیں بلایا گیا. ناؤ وی آر ہیپی ہیئر. تو خدا را آپ بھی اس فارمولے پہ عمل کریں اور اس حدیث کی روشنی میں جہاں آپ کو شک ہو جس ایریے میں کہ کرونا کے پیشنٹ ہیں وہاں مت جائیں. اور دوسرا جن لوگوں پہ یا عزیزوں کار پہ آپ کو شک ہے ان کو آپ اپنے گھر میں مت بلائیں. ان کو بڑے دھیمے لہجے میں ریکویسٹ کریں کہ آپ اپنے گھر پہ ہی آرام کریں اور بالکل احتیاطی تدابیر پہ عمل درآمد کریں. دس از دی اونلی وے وی کین اسٹاپ ٹرانسمیشن آف دی ڈیزیز. ادروائز دیر از نو اسپیسیفک ٹریٹمنٹ, نو اسپیسیفک ویکسین, نو ادر میئرس ٹو کنٹرول دا ڈیزیز. ایک دفعہ ہو جائے تو پھر یو ہیو ٹو فیس آل دا کانسیکوینسز آف دی ڈیزیز. یہ میرا آج کا پیغام ہے آپ دوستوں کو بھی, بچوں کو بھی, اپنی بیٹیوں کو بھی, بیٹوں کو بھی اور آپ کے تمام اہل خانہ کو کہ آپ اس پہ عمل درآمد کریں. ناؤ کمنگ ٹو دی پلیگ. It is an infectious disease caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. مجھے آج بھی یاد ہے کہ جب 2001 میں I was doing MPH تو جو مجھے پریزنٹیشن کا ٹاپک ملا تھا دیٹ واز پلیگ. اور اللہ کا شکر ہے کہ وہ بڑے اچھے طریقے سے میں نے فرسٹ ٹائم پریزنٹ کیا تھا بیفور audience. A symptom of this disease include fever, weakness and headache, Usually this begins 1 to 7 days after exposure. In the bubonic form, there is also swelling of lymph nodes, while in the septicemic form, tissues from uh, may turn black and die. And in the pneumonic form, shortness of breath, cough, and chest pain may occur. This is one of the very important thing I want to tell you, that even after healing of the from plague, patient has black tongue. This is the sign. Usually, जैसे ये बताया ना, septicemic farm tissues may turn black and die. Even after healing from this disease, there is, in usual cases, black tongue. I have seen a patient in 1969 who has fair color but black tongue. Then that lady told me that she suffered from an epidemic of plague at India before partition and survived. Bubonic and septicemic plagues are generally spread by flea bites or handling an infected animal. The pneumonitic form is generally spread between people through the air via infectious droplets. Diagnosis is typically by finding the bacterium in fluid form, a lymph node, blood, or sputum. Those at high risk may be vaccinated. Those exposed to a case of pneumonic plague may be treated with preventive medication. If infected, treatment is with antibiotics and supportive care. Typically, antibiotics include a combination of gentamicin and fluoroquinolone. The risk of death with treatment is about 10%, while without it is about 70%. Again, I repeat, the risk of death with treatment is about 10%, and while without it is about 70%. That is very important. You can just estimate by these percentages that treatment is so important uh, that can save you more than 60%. Globally, about 600 cases are reported a year. In 2017, the countries with the most cases include the Democratic Republic of Congo, Madagascar, and Peru. In the United States, infections occasionally occur in rural areas where the bacteria are believed to circulate among rodents. It has historically occurred in large outbreaks, with the best known being a Black Death in the 14th century, which resulted in more than 15 million deaths. You can just estimate at that time probably the population was not more than 3 billion. You should make ratio that nowadays this is more than 7 billion population of the world. Where I'm talking about the 14th century, I'm sure about that the population of the world at that moment was less than 3 billion, and you can just guess that 50 million deaths, that is a huge number. As far as the death toll during epidemic is concerned, smallpox, plague, and tuberculosis, and Spanish flu. These are the 4 diseases who has made maximum death toll in the world. Though nowadays we are afraid of the coronavirus, but I think so still the death toll is not more than approximately 12. I think so. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. I'm going to be telling you wrong. Only 1,20,000 people. Just approximately point one one two 0.12 million deaths, and you can compare that the death toll of the plague was in 14th century 15 million deaths. Plague is a disease that affects humans and other animals. It is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. Humans usually get plague after being bitten by a rodent flea that is carrying the plague bacterium or by handling an animal infected with plague. Plague is in famous for is a famous for killing millions of people in Europe during the Middle Ages. Today, modern antibiotics are effective in treating plague. Without prompt treatment, the disease can cause serious illness or death. Serious illness or death. Presently, human plague infections continue to occur in rural areas in the western United States, but significantly more cases occur in parts of the Africa and Asia. As for ecology of the concerned, bacteria that cause plague, Yersinia pestis, maintain their existence in a cycle involving rodents and their fleas. Plague occurs in rural and semi-rural areas of the western United States, primarily in semi-arid upland forests and grasslands where many types of the rodent species can be involved. Many types of the animals such as rock squirrels, wood rats, ground squirrels, uh, prairie dogs, chipmunks, mice, voles, and rabbits can be affected by plague. Wild carnivores can become infected by eating other infected animals. Scientific studies have suggested that epizootics in the southwestern United States are more likely during cooler summers that follow wet winters. Epizootics are most likely in areas with multiple types of the rodents living in a high density and in diverse habitats. In parts of the developing world, plague can sometimes occur in urban areas with dense rat infestations. The last urban outbreak of rat-associated plague in the United States occurred in Los Angeles in 1924 to 1925. The transmission of the disease is very important. The plague bacteria can be transmitted to humans in the following ways. Number one, flea bites. Plague bacteria are most often transmitted by the bite of an infected flea. During plague epizootics, many rodents die, causing hungry fleas to seek other sources of blood. People and animals that visit places where rodents have recently died from plague are at risk of being infected from flea bites. Dogs and cats may also bring plague infected uh, fleas into the home. Flea bite exposure may result in primary bubonic plague or septicemia type of the plague. Contact with contaminated fluid or tissue is very important. Humans can become infected when handling tissue or body fluids of a plague infected animals. For example, a hunter skinning a rabbit or other infected animal without using proper precautions could become infected with plague bacteria. This form of exposure most commonly result in bubonic plague or septicemia plague. A transmission of the infectious droplets through infectious droplets when a person has plague pneumonia, they may cough droplets containing the plague bacteria into air. If these bacteria containing droplets are breathed in by another person, they can cause pneumonic plague. Typically, this requires direct and close contact with the person with pneumonic plague. Transmission of these droplets is the only way that plague can spread between people. I still remember in 1994, when I was working as a medical officer in chest ward, I diagnosed two cases of the pneumonic plagues, and both have the history of coming from India. I notified this to the higher authorities through medical superintendent of Mayo Hospital, and both patients were taken to the infectious control disease hospital, Bilalganj, and they were kept isolation and managed accordingly, uh, and they became ultimately better. Sign and symptoms of the disease are very important. Plague symptoms depend on how the patient was exposed to the plague bacteria. Plague can take different clinic forms, but the most important are: number one, bubonic, pneumonic, and septicemia. Bubonic type of the plague. And these have the symptoms. I'm now telling you the sign and symptoms of the bubonic plague: fever, headache, chills, and weakness, and one or more swollen, tender, and painful lymph nodes. Uh, those are called buboes. This form usually results from the bite of an infected flea. The bacteria multiply in the lymph node closest to where the bacteria enter the human body. If the patient is not treated with the appropriate antibiotics, the bacteria can spread to other parts of the body and cause many complications. Second, a septicemia type of the plague that is very important. Patients develop fever, chills, extreme weakness, abdominal pain, shock, and possibly bleeding into skin and other organs. Skin and other tissues may turn black and die. This is the sign when in special septicemia type, there is black tongue eye because bleeding in the mucous membrane, hemorrhages underneath the mucous membrane are calcified, and there is discoloration of the tongue that is called black tongue. Skin and it will make black and die, especially on fingers, toes, and the nose. Septicemia plague can occur as a first symptom of plague or may develop from untreated bubonic plague. This form results from bites of infected fleas or from handling an infected animals. A third form is pneumonic plague. Patient develop fever, headache, weakness, and rapidly developing pneumonia with shortness of breath, chest pain, cough, and sometimes bloody or watery mucus. Pneumonic plague may develop from inhaling infectious droplets and may develop from untreated bubonic or septicemic plague after the bacteria spread to the lungs. The pneumonia may cause respiratory failure and shock ultimately if not treated properly. This is very important that if pneumonic plague is not treated properly or there is some sort of the underlying problem which is causing a decrease of the immunity like diabetes, mellitus, etc., or due to some other immunosuppressive problems, the pneumonia may cause respiratory failure and shock. Pneumonic plague is the most serious form of the disease and is the only form of plague that can be spread from person to person by infection. As for our other form, bubonic and septicemia, they are not spreading person to person. Generally diagnosed, plague is plausible diagnosis for people who are sick and live on or have recently traveled to the Western United States or any other plague endemic area. The most common sign of bubonic plague is the rapid development of a swollen and painful lymph node called a bubu. A known flea bite or the presence of a bubu may help a doctor to consider plague as a cause of or at least doctor can put a plague in differential diagnosis. You have to also consider other types of the uh, diseases which are causing lymphadenopathy. In many cases, particularly in septicemic and pneumonic plague, there are no obvious signs that indicate plague. Diagnosis is made by taking samples from the patient, especially blood or part of a swollen lymph node, and submitting them for laboratory investigation. Once plague has been identified as a possible cause of illness, appropriate treatment should be begin immediately. You can limit the patient, or at least you can isolate the patient at home and treat accordingly. Plague is a very serious illness, but is treatable with community available antibiotics. The earlier a patient seeks medical care and receives treatment and that is appropriate for plague, the better their chances are of a full recovery. People in close contact with, I have already told you that when there is a proper treatment, patients have just mortality, 10% mortality in epidemic, whereas without treatment, 70% mortality. So this is very important that treatment is very fruitful and effective. People in close contact with very sick pneumonic plague patients may be evaluated and possibly placed under observation. Preventive antibiotic therapy may also be given depending on the type and timing of a personal contact. Uh, Besides treatment, prevention you are doing for two purposes. You have to save the attendant family members of the patient, and you have saved the community, and you have to avoid epidemic in that area. So the best way is that reduce rodent habitat around your home, workplace, and recreational areas. This is very important. Again, I repeat, reduce rodent habitat around your home, workplaces, and recreational areas. There are so many ways, so many chemicals those can be used to, you can put in the holes, those make the death of the rodents by those chemicals. There are so many remove brush, rock piles, junk cultured firewood, and possible rodent food supplies such as pet and wild animals food. Make your home and outbuildings rodent proof. Wear gloves if you are handling or skinning potentially infected animals to prevent contact between your skin and the plague bacteria. If you have the dead animal or dead rodent in your areas, the grassy areas, you should not take it directly. You have to wear gloves or take it with some precautions. Contact your local health department if you have questions about disposal of dead animal. That is very important. Use repellent if you think you could be exposed to rodent fleas during activities such as camping, hiking, or working outdoors. Products containing DEET, I have so many repeated, again I repeat, diethyl chloride talomide can be as always follow instruction on the label. This deed can be used with precaution. If you are going outside your premise or house, you should use when deed. You should apply on face and hands. But when you are coming back to your home, don't touch your kids and ठीक. Sorry for interruption by the IT department. They have corrected it. Keep fleas off of your pets by applying flea control products. Animals that roam freely are more likely to come in contact with plague-infected animals or fleas and could bring them into homes. That is very important. If your pet becomes sick, seek care from a veterinarian as soon as possible and get treatment of that animal. Don't allow dogs or cats that roam free in endemic areas to sleep on your bed. These are some historical pictures I am showing you. Uh, this was the picture, this is I have taken picture of the painting in 14th century. Uh, Exactly the same situation is nowadays in Italy, Spain, and your other European countries. We wish that God may bless them recovery and stop this epidemic, global epidemic, and save the lives of the all human beings, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims, without any religious point of view. God bless them. This is the picture of the painting of the pandemic, approximately 50 million deaths in 14th century. Again, the same picture showing death toll in the world. Yersinia pestis, rodents. This is the flea. This is a picture when there was no arrangement of the burial or disposal of the dead bodies in pandemic of the plague in 14th century. You can just imagine the picture. I was just observing video on WhatsApp that was viral, how they were disposing dead bodies. Just a truck came and covered with plastic dead bodies, they thrown in the just in a thigh. But really, I was upset to see that so many people, wealthy, healthy people, they are not able to have a coffin, etc. God bless and forgive us our sins. I hope so. You should pray to the God for stoppage of this pandemic. God bless. This is the one sort of the marks used by the health professionals during pandemic of the plague. This is one sort of, you know, maximum cover. And even just uh, you can imagine and no hole or no area where bacteria or virus can go to the body of. Thank you very much. Now I have finished two topics. I hope so. If you want to put any questions, my email address is there. You can write Dr. M.N. Tabassum, CM, mean community medicine, gmail at the rate of gmail.com. Again, I repeat, my email, Dr. Dr. M.N. Tabassum, TABASSUM, CM, Dr. M.N. Tabassum, CM at the rate of gmail.com. You can ask any question anything on this email, but in a very civilized way. I have come to know that though I'm not saying about you, might possible that some students are making some comments about the teacher. This is very bad. Again, I will remind you, teachers are just like your parents, your mother and father. You should respect them. You should, at least you should listen properly. If you have some type of your reservation about a behavior of the teacher, you can go to the teacher and ask about something, about the clarification of that behavior. याद रखें, टीचर अगर सख्ती भी करता है तो आपकी बेहतरी के लिए करता है, उसका उससे कोई फ़ायदा नहीं, ना तो उसे कोई सख्ती से एक्स्ट्रा पे मिल जाती है, ना उसको कोई इंसेंटिव मिलता है. This strictness is for your better future. I hope you will keep this in your mind and behave like a good student with your teachers. Thank you very much. God bless you.